Hey guys, welcome back to Latin Chopsticks. Thank you so much for coming back this week. So as we mentioned the last couple of weeks, we are going to a ceviche restaurant today, and it is called Ceviche House. This is a very authentic Peruvian cuisine place that we haven't actually been to a Peruvian place, I believe, since like our second or third video. So this is really exciting. We're gonna get to go back to have that delicious Peruvian cuisine. They have actually fried rice that's very similar to Chinese fried rice, but they have like their own little spin on it, and I'm really excited for that. I'm gonna try to see if they have ceviche, obviously, because this is a ceviche house, and see how that fares. And I believe there is like this special like soup slash cream that you can have that's really vegetable based, but I think it might have shrimp or something in it. I can't remember because I looked this up like a couple days ago, but I didn't want to look it up again because I want to be really surprised when I go there. Now, I did mention that in this week's video, we have a very special announcement that we're going to do at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around all the way to the end because I do have a very nice surprise for you guys. Lastly, if you like the content, if you like the channels, please guys, please subscribe, hit that like button and hit that notification bell so you never miss any future restaurants and videos that I'm making about all the different places that there are to eat in Orlando. If you have any suggestions, if you have any comments or any places that you know that I have not visited yet, please comment them down below and we'll try to see if we can make a video on that. With that said, we're starving, we're really excited, so we're about to head out and eat at this place to see how it fares up to the original Peruvian place, if it's even comparable, because like I said, people have told me that it's very different in the way that they do Peruvian cuisine. One's more focused on grilling and things like that. This one's more focused on like, you know, fried rice and ceviche and seafood and things like that. So very excited. Let's go ahead and head there.
I won't make it easy for you now. You got 2 minutes of my time, and I don't really break too easily, but I'm worth it, cause I'll slip into your dreams tonight. Oh, so give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Just watch me breaking your sweat. You're falling into me, touch me.
All right guys, we finally made it. We are here. We are in the Ceviche House. This looks really, really nice. Like the areas around look really, really nice. The ambience in here, it is super bright outside as you guys saw in the beginning of the video. And then you come in here and it's nice and kind of dark, but then the lights are just on the perfect amount for that ambience to be set. We're starving. We went ahead and we ordered, I believe we ordered ceviche. We ordered Chaufa con carne, which is basically steak fried rice. And then we ordered as well a sopa a la minuta, which is really interesting. It looks like it's a spaghetti and beef soup with milk. So that sounds really interesting. So we're gonna try that first. Then we're gonna try, or actually we're gonna try the ceviche first. Then we're gonna try the soup. Then we're gonna try the rice and see how it is and see how this food fares. But so far, I'm really happy with the place. It looks absolutely beautiful when you walk in. The music that's in this area, like it really kind of puts you in that type of atmosphere. So I really like it. And then on top of that, their juices are just delicious, man. We had like 2 different juices. We ended up getting the maracuya, which is basically passion fruit juice, which is amazing, and it's getting more and more popular, but I can't wait. I'm super excited for this. All right, guys, so the first thing that they brought out is kind of like how Mexican restaurants give you the nachos and like salsa and stuff like that. So this here, or chips and salsa, not nachos and salsa. But this here is like some large kernels of corn, and I believe they're baked and roasted up until they expand, where it's almost like a pre-made popcorn. It has a little bit of a hot sauce on it as well, but it's pretty good. Because it's like you're eating soft popcorn kernels, but it has like a very salty and smoky taste. You mix it a little bit with that sauce that I'm not really sure what that sauce is, but I think it's like a green chile sauce. This is pretty spicy. So you get the saltiness, and then you mix that in with the spice and the freshness of that salsa. Oh man, it comes together really well. And this is just the prep of before we get our actual dishes, so this is making me more and more excited. All right guys, they brought out the food. This thing is massive. I've never seen ceviche decorated like this. It is really nice, really decorated. It is a lot, so I'm a little nervous. but the way they serve this and they put it together, oh, it is beautiful. Although the onions just fell down, so that's unfortunate, but it was like perfectly assembled. All right, so this ceviche looks really, really delicious. You have freshly cut red onions. You have the ceviche itself smothered in sauce, which I believe it's a bunch of different citrus, peppers, lemon, all made to cook the fish in the meantime. You get these large chunks of carrots that add vibrance and color. You have it in a bed of 2 beautiful green pieces of lettuce. And then you have some of the giant corn that we had actually as an appetizer before. But of course, these are raw. These are like some of the biggest pieces of corn I've ever seen in my life. But man, this looks really appetizing. Hopefully it's as good as we say. All right, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and try this out and see how it is. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I barely try ceviche. Me personally, I'm not too much of a fish person or seafood person. I love shrimp. I love any type of shellfish. I love shrimp, lobster, and crab. But fish, it has to be cooked a specific way. And I know this might sound funny, but in Venezuela, the fish was so freaking good that when I came here and started eating fish here, I've never liked it. It's just never been the same. It's like the texture, the smoky, the flavor of Venezuelan fish is another thing. But this, it is raw fish. Well, not raw anymore. It got cooked because of the line, but it is still freaking good. Because you get the onion flavor first when you bite down, and that's the crunch. Then you get the softness of the fish itself. But instead of tasting the typical taste of raw fish, you get overwhelmed with freshness of citrus and that lemony goodness with a little bit of salt. And it just tastes really freaking good. You get that pepper feeling, so it's a little bit of a spice because of the pepper. And then you get that little very subtle flavor of fish. But this is absolutely amazing. I've never had ceviche this good. And now I want to try these big things of corn. Let's see how. Oh, it's really sweet. So there's a lot more stuffing in the corn. It's not like your typical, corn on the cob that you have, because I feel like those, when you bite down, they kind of pop because they're kind of compressed with the juices of the sweetness of the corn. This is sweet, but it has a lot more texture to it because you could tell it's like the inside actually has layers. It's a little harder. You almost think that they're a little bit raw, but the flavor, when you bite down, you get a little bit of a hard bite, but then they just kind of turn into this mushy, like really good sweet corn. It's really freaking good. I'm honestly really impressed, and I'm telling you guys, I promise you, I'm not a fish person, but I could eat this with no problem. So we tried this, and boy was I wrong. This is not carrot, this is squash, I believe, but it's pretty good. It's nice and soft, but it still has enough texture for it to remain and retain its shape. All right, guys, we got the mountain of steak Chaufa. This is massive. You can see the chunks of steak in there. The smell coming off of this is so freaking good. I can't wait to dig in, but before anything, I have to show you guys. All right, guys, check this out. It's very similar to fried rice because it is fried rice, but the ingredients that they put in it is slightly different. The sauces that they use is slightly different. But you have some green onions, you have some scrambled eggs, I believe you have some carrots, some red peppers. You have a nice big chunks of steak. You have a cilantro leaf as a garnish, just to make that dish kind of come up in colors a little bit. The great thing about this is, even though it's nice and fluffy, you see it just falling apart. It is a little greasy looking, so I'm a little concerned, but it's fried rice. What did you expect? But this just looks great. This looks really freaking good. Look at the freaking chunks of meat. I was a little worried when I ordered it because I thought they might be tough, but these actually look really freaking juicy, and it looks like the cut of steak that they used might have been either skirt steak, actually. I think it actually is skirt steak just based on the way that it looks. But we're gonna go ahead and try a little bit of the steak and a little bit of the rice together and see how the flavors actually come together. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and try this out. the wok flavor in this, or whatever they use, you can tell, you can taste either the pan, or if they use like a griddle, you can taste the flavor coming from it. It's nice, it's smoky, it's a little bit charred. It is a little bit greasy, but it's not overwhelming, so it's kind of there. I wish it was a little bit less greasy. I would like it even more. With that said, it's still really freaking good. You get the crunch of the green onion. You get the nice individual pieces of rice that you can feel because it's not mushy, it's cooked perfectly together. You get that delicious piece of meat that's nice and charred, but it's not overcooked, so it's not tough. It's still really, really tender. It just comes together really well. And because of the red bell peppers, it kind of adds a little bit of that Hispanic taste to it. It's hard to explain, but anybody that's Hispanic will tell you. The sazon that us Hispanics use, man, it's in this. It's really good. I'm really, really happy I ordered this, man. One of the nicest freaking plates of rice I've ever ordered. All right, guys, and the last thing we have here is the soup. So I am pretty stuffed. There's a lot of rice, but then there's this giant bowl of soup. I didn't think it was gonna be this big, but it is freaking massive. And the colors, the way it looks looks really appealing to me. It actually reminds me of a tantamden ramen, but it's a Peruvian dish, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. First of all, of course, you have that nice soft-boiled egg right on the top. I would even say, I think it's a poached egg. Then you have the soup, you have the creaminess, so it's like that nice color because of the milk. You have little tiny cubes of steak cut very small, very thinly. You have very nice and cute cut noodles, like spaghetti noodles. You have some vegetables in there. You have the lime on the bottom. You have a little pea that must have escaped somebody's plate, or must have escaped the soup itself. But first things first, I've never tried this, but when I saw it and I read what it was, I was really interested. There's a nice little chunk of potato there. So let's go ahead and try this out and see if it's any good. Let's get a little bit more broth in there. All right, and let's go ahead and try it out, see if it's any good. It is really hot. I should have waited a little bit, or at least blown on it. But it's really, really good. It's not as creamy as I thought it was, because despite that it has milk, it looks like it's a very slight amount of milk. So it just gives it that color, but it still tastes like, you know, like you would a regular like bowl of soup. Like it doesn't taste like a creamy bowl of soup. With that said, the steak, it's super tender. There's onions, there's green peas. It all comes together really well. I will say that I feel like it needs a little bit more salt. I don't want to judge too much because we just had the ceviche, which usually has a good amount of salt to help cook the fish with the citrus. But we also had the fried, the chaufa. So that fried rice usually is pretty condimented, so it's pretty strong in the saltine flavor. So maybe that's why this is tasting a little bit simple. The flavors are all there. The meat's really good. You have a lot of nice little pepper taste. You have the little different vegetables. The potato itself adds a little bit of creaminess. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and get a little bit of lime and just kind of pour it in there. And then maybe get a little bit of more salt. Not much, because I don't want to overwhelm it. And just add it to the dish. Just go ahead and mix that up together. And then we're gonna have like a nice spoon of the broth. See if the broth got a little bit more flavor. Big difference. Oh my God. That's what it was missing. But I suggest when you come here, order the soup first, have the soup, then you have the ceviche, then have whatever the regular food is. Because honestly, I'm 99% sure that the reason this tasted a little simple to me was because of the other dishes that we had. With that said, I was just a little bit of concern because I don't want to add too much salt because it's definitely not healthy for you, you know? You got some of the egg there. Oh wow. That egg is really freaking good. I would definitely recommend. When I come back, I'm gonna try different soups just to see what other flavors and other things that they have. I didn't get to try out that creamy soup that I was telling you guys about because they were out, but definitely for next time, I'm gonna be doing that. All right, guys, man, that food was really, really good. Definitely completely different than the last Peruvian place that we went to at the beginning of the channel. With that said though, guys, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. I definitely recommend coming to Ceviche House whenever you're here in Orlando because it's pretty good. Usually when I drive by, like this place is pretty packed, so we try to come as early as possible so we can try to be able to sit down and get a table because I'm telling you, this is usually like a 30 to 40 minute wait at times. And then even while we're being here, I've seen so many people walk in and just like pick up a whole bunch of to-go orders, kind of like a Chinese place, but it is really, really good, man. All right, guys, so it's time for the big reveal, the big surprise. So this is something that's been planned for months ahead, and something that I really wanted to do to kind of take this channel to that next level and just kind of go a little bit out of my way. And that is, we're gonna be doing some videos in Dubai. So my wife and I, we're gonna be traveling to Dubai and we're gonna be doing some videos. I will say that the videos that we're gonna do are gonna be on the phone, so I'm not 100% sure how the quality is gonna be. I'm gonna try my best to do the best I can. Just because of some of the things I've read while being over there. I'm just worried about how filming and bringing like a big camera and things like that would be. It's our first time going, so it's gonna be really exciting. I'm gonna try to make a few different videos there to show you guys. I'm thinking maybe like 4 or 5 videos, and we're gonna be coming out throughout the next couple of weeks. I'm thinking of starting the first video on that first Sunday on October. So that's the plan so far. And then go from there. I believe the whole month of October, maybe a week into November, we'll have another video of Dubai, but that's pretty much it. I have a few places in mind that I want to go, and yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at that, and I really do hope you guys enjoy the content for the next couple of weeks. With that said, guys, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for being so loyal and you know, being able to come back to the channel and just watch the different contents. I really appreciate those few that have commented. It means a lot to me. Being able to interact with you, some of the viewers, it's really something that I like to see. I like to read and things like that. With that said, if you guys have any comments or if you guys have any suggestions, I mean, for any of the other places here in Orlando that you may have been to that I haven't shown yet, please go ahead and do so in the comment section below. But we're gonna go ahead and finish that soup. We're gonna go ahead and wrap things up and head home, and we got a few things we gotta do today. But until next time, guys, just keep on eating.